Hello, hello. Mm. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited and so satisfied to be here with you right now. And I'm so happy that you have found your way to this intro video, to this space, whether you're here on YouTube or you found this video through the blog on Substack. Welcome. Leave a comment below the video to tell me where you're from, what your name is, what your job is, what your hobbies are, what weird quirks you have, anything. I just want to get to know you because you are about to get to know me. And also leave a comment under the blog post if you're there. And just introduce yourself because I'm going to tell you about myself as Monica Rose, the face and the vibe behind Monica Rose Coaching, what I do as a job and career coach, and why I'm doing this because it's very, very activating for me and a whole part of my soul's purpose in this life. So I'm very excited. I will do my best to keep this as brief as possible, but I have an undefined throat in human design if you're familiar, so no promises there. But since you are reading this or watching this, you are ready for some big, big, juicy changes in your life. And more specifically, you are exploring your relationship with work and what it could mean and look like for you to have a more balanced, symbiotic, mutually beneficial relationship with work. And let me tell you, you are in the right place for this journey. And I cannot wait to support you and help you empower yourself on this journey as well. So, I'm going to start with what I do. Well, actually, let me start with a little bit about me first. So, obviously, my name is Monica. I live in New Mexico. If you've ever watched Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, that's where I live, and it's pretty fucking cool, if I must say so myself. Um, I'm a huge dork. I like to play video games. I read tarot and oracle. I'm a Reiki practitioner. I love to go hiking. I have several camping trips planned for this year. Right now it's May 9th, so I haven't gone on any yet. But I love being outdoors, especially here, because this is an incredibly beautiful place. What else? I like to read books still sometimes, like not as much as I used to, but I'm getting back into it. I'm very creative and I love crafting, mostly junk journaling. I'm not a huge crafter, but I do love junk journaling or scrapbook journaling. Most of my creativity, though, is really not artsy. It's more building and creating things, for a lack of a better term. I have a cat named Hamilton. I have a husband. My hometown has 1,000 people in it. I have a master's degree, which I'll talk a little bit about later. But yeah, there's a little bit about me. Oh, in human design, 5-1 sacral generator, left angle cross of wishes. 2, Scorpio sun, Taurus moon, Leo rising, Scorpio Mars, Scorpio Mercury, Capricorn North Node, Virgo Venus, and Jupiter. I think I hit all the points. So there's a little bit about me, your new work bestie. So, what do I do as a job and career coach? Your mind might be thinking or saying, she helps people get jobs or raises or promotions. Yes, you are not wrong, but that is really just the surface level. In essence, I empower people or help them empower themselves to radically change their relationship with work so that they can actually live life outside of work and enjoy life like we are divinely intended. And to create a professional life that actually feels nourishing, meets their needs, feels fulfilling, and that enables them to enjoy life outside of work. So that is all surface level stuff. Going to work every day, asking for a raise, drawing boundaries, securing a promotion, applying for jobs. interviewing, that's all surface level. The core of what I do is below the surface on a deeper energetic level. So let's dive into that a little bit. What is energetics? Energetics is this huge, kind of abstract concept, but the simplest way that I can describe it is the unseen underlying mechanisms that drive everything in life. Energetics, there's energy, which everything is energy, right? Every single human being, including you and me, we all have our own energy field, our own aura, our own energetic signature or frequency that we are constantly emitting and putting out into the world. And every single thing that we experience with all of our senses, food, cars that we drive, chairs that we sit in, anything that we ingest, anything that we smell or hear or see, it's all energy, right? That's been proven already scientifically that everything is energy. I'm just going to pause with that for a second because there's just so much richness in knowing that. There's so much power in that simple realization that everything is energy. Okay. So everything is energy, right? So are your beliefs, your emotions, and your feelings, your thoughts, your experiences, right? Your desires. It's all energy and it all has an energetic frequency to it, right? And this is a very spiritual concept or spiritual phenomenon when we look at our own individual energetics as the core of who we are, right? So, on a macro scale, energetics are the natural laws of the universe. When you distill everything down into its fundamental parts, strip away all the layers, you get to the energetics of it all, the natural laws of the universe, right? So, for example, a macro energetic law is that you create your external reality through your internal reality. Most people do the opposite and try to create their internal through their external, and they wonder why they're never truly happy. They're never truly at peace or satisfied with life. It's because there is a disconnect between how they are living, their personal energetics, and these macro energetics, this universal law, right? So there's no bypassing energetic laws. Whether you're consciously aware of them or not, you can ignore them, write them off as too woo, neglect them. It doesn't matter. The only thing that changes, the only thing that your rejection or your denial changes is your individual experience and perception through life, right? So, as a job and career coach, I bridge the gap between the traditional surface level and the spiritual and energetic aspects to this in empowering people to radically change their relationship with work. So, when you keep finding yourself in the same situations, repeating the same patterns in a work context, this could look like you find yourself in jobs that have abusive bosses or just really toxic environments or jobs that like underpay you but overwork you, so they exploit you. These are all very, very, very common cycles and patterns that people find themselves in. It is very likely, I can almost guarantee, that you are overlooking or neglecting I don't know if you can hear my cat. But you are overlooking or neglecting these energetic, natural laws of the universe. It is one of my core beliefs that this is what non-spiritual spaces and spiritual spaces too are is they're missing. You can keep changing things up, do what so and so said, follow this guide or template, or do these meditations, repeat affirmations, doing plant medicine, whatever. But if you are not getting down to the fundamental energetics of it all, nothing will truly change. You may experience short term change or small game change, but nothing will truly change radically for the long term. So, this is what I do with people. When you team up with me, when we team up together and work together, that's exactly what we'll do. We will unpack your beliefs around work, look at your larger patterns and cycles and experiences, define your personal work values and your true desires. So, differentiating between your truth, your true values, and the values that you've been programmed with. We will work to establish personal practices. What does your human self need to stay grounded and regulated? And this is so important. This is really the foundation of everything, is calibrating your personal energetics. And as a Reiki practitioner and a tarot reader, we will do some energy work with Reiki and divination and human design if you're interested in that, briefly. And then those hard job skills. So you can confidently show up to interviews, you can communicate effectively, negotiate, and most importantly, overall advocate for yourself. So, really, this is energy work, right? It's calibrating or recalibrating your energetics, your personal energetics around work so that you can actually change your relationship with work, right? So, what is my why? Like, why am I doing this? Energetically, I have incredible amounts of energy every day. And it's primarily channeled into nurturing creations or little creative sacral buns, or you guessed it, work. I love working. I've been working since I was 14. I've hated all my jobs. Well, there's been a couple that I didn't hate, but for the most part, I've hated all of my jobs until now. And I'm here to solve real world problems and help people break free from stagnant cycles that are holding them back and start new cycles that are really infused with their soul, with their spirit and their true essence. So, I want to touch on my personal experience with work because this really gets to the core of my why. I've at every job I've had until 2021, I was undervalued, exploited, underpaid, overworked, and in many cases, straight up disrespected and verbally abused. Like, let's just call it what it is. I never had any PTO. Which meant I couldn't take any time off, you know, without missing time or without missing money if my requests were approved to begin with. And I experienced a lot of frustration and burnout. Not to mention, I spent 10 years in college. I have a master's degree, as graduate level certification, bachelor's, and I loved every second of it, aside from being a poor college student. That was not fun. But I did everything that I was supposed to do. I worked the whole time I was in college. In grad school, I had two jobs because I was a teaching assistant on top of my part time job. I did everything I was supposed to do. And at every job that I had, I could not help but see very clearly these mechanisms of control and manipulation. I hated being told what to do, what to wear, how to act, like being told that I have to accept verbal abuse from customers. I hated it. It wasn't the fault of any particular like boss or manager, but a disease of within the larger system. And after about 6 months at like any job, my frustration would just boil over and I'd start looking for something else. I think the longest job that I had was 2 years in grad school. And by the end of that job, I had just stopped showing up because I got another job that I thought I would hate less, but I didn't. And it was just the same bullshit over and over and over again. So I know all too well what it's like to be completely drained by your job, to dread going to work every day, to just cry out of frustration every day because work sucked so fucking much. And I know what it's like to feel like there's no escaping the grind. Like, goddamn, I have to work until I'm fucking 70. I have to do this shit every day until I'm literally too old to work. Cool. No, it sounds awful, right? Like so many people feel this way. Hmm, I lost my place. Oh, so I did everything that I was supposed to do. That everything that we are taught to do. Go to college, get a good job. That's what I fucking did. In 2019, it was right around my birthday in October of 2019. I accepted my first job out of grad school in South Florida, ironically in Jupiter, Florida, which I thought was like a good omen. I thought it was the end of this cycle, right? Okay, my camera's shaking, I'm sorry. But that wasn't the case. Like 6 months in, like seriously, like 6 months. I mentioned that was about the time that I would start feeling not great. About 6 months in, I felt that familiar restlessness and this constriction, and I was really struggling with a very like subtly covert toxic environment. The pandemic hit. I'll spare the details, but the pandemic hit. I had to work from home, which was really hard trying to learn a new job that had a very steep learning curve. And I went back to the office after a couple of months, had a performance review, and they basically said that I needed to step it up. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? We're in the middle of a global pandemic. I had to work from home. And did you forget that you moved me 1,200 miles to come down here? Like, I need a little bit of time. Like, holy shit. I didn't say any of that, but I packaged it up into a nice professional little package. But they fired me. And that is when I made the definitive choice to never settle for toxic work bullshit again. I realized that I was caught up in this like well-oiled machine that was that is perfectly designed to keep us disconnected from our true power so that we are more easily controlled and manipulated. And I vowed to do things differently. I that was the first major commitment that I made to myself. And that was really when my spiritual journey began. When I realized that there is another way and nothing outside of me is going to show me the way. So I got my first oracle deck and my first tarot deck. I joined an astrology group. I created rituals and really practiced connecting with myself on a soul level. And I've never looked back, ever. So, what changed? Like, what's different now? I'm still in the traditional workforce while building my business. But what's changed is that I actually have a job that I actually like kind of enjoy going to every day, weirdly. It has nothing to do with my degree, nothing to do with my life's purpose, but I enjoy it for there's multiple reasons. But when I first got a job that I didn't actually hate, like for the first time, I noticed how much more fulfilling and easeful other areas of my life became. I had so much more energy to be, to just be with myself and to be at home with my husband and our fur child. I had so much more energy to create and actually channel my life force and explore and go on adventures, right? Because I wasn't constantly feeling the stress over work. And we don't realize how much of our energy and our life force we give away to work through stress, overcommitting, overgiving, like all of it. And so now I have a job that appreciates me so much, like so much. I honestly can't believe sometimes that I receive so much support and appreciation and love at my job. And I just work in an office, you know? Hmm. It feels so good to say that. And I'm thriving at work. Is it my dream job? No. Is it perfect? No. But it meets my needs so that I have stability. I feel supported and appreciated. I work with executives, which is the exact energy that I need like in my life at this point. I have energy to enjoy life. I mean, I could go on. And that is my birthright. And that is your birthright as a sovereign individual. It is your birthright to have a professional life that feels nourishing. And so that is my why, because I know what it's like to give all of my power away to jobs that drain me, to toxic jobs and toxic work culture. And now, on the other side of that, I also know what it's like to have a nourishing work life balance, like a true work life balance. And it is another one of my um, core beliefs that toxic work culture is one of the main pillars, so to speak, of this oppressive, very extractive, exploitive, kind of collective program that we are in. Toxic work culture is a main pillar of that. And it is a culture, right? There are very specific beliefs and values within toxic work culture that we are all very deeply programmed with, and it impacts like every area of life, our relationships, mental, spiritual, physical, emotional health, our finances, our home life, everything. And when we get rid of toxic work culture, like for good, doesn't mean that we're not faced with it every day, because we are. I mean, I still face it almost every day in some capacity, at work or at home, you know. But it's really our ability to navigate it and always come back to center, never abandoning ourselves ever again for the sake of some bullshit ass program. So that's my why. And I'm really just here to burn toxic work culture to the fucking ground. And I am here to show you and guide you and teach you and support you in burning toxic work culture to the fucking ground in your own life. And that's how collective change happens, one individual at a time. It all creates a ripple effect. So, there is my little introduction to myself as the human behind Monica Rose Coaching, what I can do with you as a job and career coach, what I can help you with. So, if you ever want to reach out, you can follow me on Instagram. All of my stuff is somewhere underneath this video or in this blog post. It's somewhere. You can find it. You can follow me. We can connect. And yeah, I love you.